There was a moment, clear as day, when I recognised in myself that I was playing small. It wasn't a dramatic event. It was just me sitting in a meeting, not speaking up, being spoken over as usual. And I thought, oh, I'm letting this happen. You see, I've become so comfortable in my day-to-day. I didn't really want to upset the status quo. I just wanted a quiet life. But did I really? I remembered a younger version of me who was bold, would speak up, would say what she thought. That girl was nowhere to be seen. And in that moment, I knew it was time to shift gears again. Not in a bold, big, brashy way, that's not who I am, but authentically as me. So instead, I decided to take baby steps, just stretching my comfort zone a little bit. And I had no idea what these small actions would become massive opportunities for me. If we're meeting for the first time, I'm Churchill, and I'm on a mission to help women grow from self-doubt to self-confidence so they can take their career to the next level. If you have a comment or question, please leave it down below. While you're there, a little thumbs up is always appreciated. And of course, please subscribe to the channel. If you want notifications, hit the bell. So it was in this moment when I was sat in this meeting that my mind wandered to a few days before, where I'd sat in the audience at a conference and the speaker was talking about 15 different ways that women give their power away. And 3 of them hit home for me so hard that I recognised instantly that I was guilty of those things. The first one was I was letting myself get talked over in meetings, something I would never have let slide before, but somehow I just did now. I'd kind of accepted being talked over and also having my ideas taken by somebody else as if they were their own. Next, I noticed that far too many apologies had been slipping into my language, apologising for things that weren't even my fault. It was as if I needed to justify my seat at the table almost. And the third one was I'd stopped taking on challenges. I thought somewhere in my mind that I'd hit the career level that I needed to be. I didn't need any more salary. So what was the point in trying anything else new? Just be along for the ride. That's what my little brain was saying. And these habits had crept in so quietly, I hadn't even noticed how much of my own personal power I was actually giving away. So once I became aware of these patterns, I knew I had to have an overhaul, but it didn't need to be this great big sudden change in persona that people wouldn't recognise even who I was. Instead, I started taking small intentional risks. I started speaking up in meetings a little bit more. And instead of waiting for the right moment, because that never comes, I started to assert my voice a little bit more, maybe interrupt the flow of the conversation a little bit if I felt I had something worth saying. And I learnt some interventions if somebody started to talk over me so that I could interrupt their flow and finish what it was I was saying. I also started to replace all these apologies with confident statements. I'm sorry at the beginning of a sentence undermines whatever else you're going to say in that sentence because you're already in a position of guilt, and that's no good. And lastly, instead of shying away from challenges, I started to put my hand up for a little bit more stuff. The younger me always did that, so why not? I began volunteering for projects that were slightly outside of my comfort zone, where I didn't know all of the answers necessarily, but had confidence in myself to grow into those roles, the same as I'd grown into all of the other roles before. These small shifts felt manageable to me, and little by little, especially the last one of putting my hand up for more things, opened up such opportunities for me. It's immeasurable, really. I mean, what was I thinking? First came a promotion, a direct result of putting my hand up and saying yes to more projects. With that boost in confidence, I felt comfortable to start opening these businesses a little bit more aligned to what I want to be doing rather than what I always had been doing. So instead of just focusing my career on facilities, which is where I am a career expert, I started looking at gender inequality and what we can do to help professional women in the workplace, which is why we're all here. I had the confidence to start that baby tiny steps though. And once I had a little bit of success with this business, I opened my sister company, which is all about makeup and skincare, not something career women in construction effectively get to talk about very often, except we all use it every day, so somebody's got to. And when I look back, it was each of these small, tiny changes that I made which brought me step by step closer to where I am today in my dream corporate job with 2 lovely side businesses which work on auto. And I'll repeat something that I did mention at the start of this video. This confidence isn't about being loud and brashy and shouting from the rooftops. That's absolutely not who I am. It's about finding my own authentic way of taking control of my personal power and the influence I have of the things around me. For me, that's trusting my instincts and taking action on what I believe I should. And importantly, the power I reclaimed wasn't about putting myself in a mould. In fact, it was the opposite. It was about bringing out the authentic me, doing things my way, because that's everybody's superpower. There's only one me and there's only one you. So it wasn't big, bold moves and huge changes that made this difference in my life that I now get to enjoy. It was those small baby steps, trusting who I am, having conviction in myself and taking these small, tiny risks every day. If this part of my story has resonated with you, you might enjoy my free guide, Get the Results You Need. It's packed with strategies to boost your confidence right before your next big pitch, interview, presentation, whatever it is. I want you to be able to leave those nasty mind monkeys at the door and step in as authentically as you can, be yourself, so that you get the most out of that interaction, the most out of that presentation, interview, whatever it is. There's a link to that right below this video, so please go ahead and download that now. I always appreciate your feedback. It helps me to bring the stuff you're looking for, and it helps other people to find my stuff as well. So any questions or comments, please drop them down below and I'll get back to you. A thumbs up, and while you're there, why not subscribe to the channel? In the meantime, remember that you're amazing. Go and download the guide, and you have an amazing week.